There is level 67 lamping skill. Good morning, everyone. It's me, Pasta, aka Automelogy, back at it with some 2004 Scape and also a bit of OSRS. We got that one too. Pretty much always logged into 3 accounts at once these days. Been spending more time at Shiloh Village lately. I did most of my fishing XP at the Fishing Guild with lobsters, but yeah, Shiloh Village is pretty chill. It's not as AFK, but it's faster XP, so if I can, better to be doing Shiloh. But also I don't make any money. And the income that I made from all those lobsters was pretty nice earlier in the server. But yeah, 37 mil fishing past that today. Numbers going up. I'll just be gradually working on 200 mil fishing over the next few years, probably, as like a passive AFK skill. I think it's my best choice because woodcutting is going to get teak trees in 2005, which for both AFK and active are like twice as fast as existing methods. This guy, the free-to-play UIM, is hard at work as always. Under 50k fragments left, but yeah, we're still looking at probably at least 6 months-ish. We'll see. I was maybe hoping to finish the fragments by the end of this year, but only time will tell. I'm pretty consistent with like 300k plus XP per week, which is decent, getting there. But yeah, still 9 mil XP to go, something like that. And this guy is cooking marlins. That's about it. Been doing a bit of fishing sometimes too. Yeah, I guess I don't know if I mentioned it in any videos, but yeah, I got 200 mil wood cutting from redwoods. RIP to that. So now I have to venture into other AFKs and got a lot of fire making done from all that too. So yeah, on here, whenever I'm closer to the general store, I just sell them. But if I'm closer to the bank, then I bank them. Pretty nice because the last update added a right-click bank option on the banker NPCs in Shiloh. Before it only had a talk to, so you'd have to talk to them and go through a few dialogue options to open the bank. So that was maybe also part of the reason I started doing more Shiloh, is just because of that, it feels nicer. I always fish on low detail mode because it makes the water just this flat color instead of having the texture, which makes it much easier to spot the available fishing spots. And here there's only 3 fishing spots that can be in all kinds of different places, so you are running around a lot. The place where barbarian fishing is added, which doesn't happen until 2007, has 5 fishing spots here. The Backstorian Lake, the one up like near where the barbarian outpost is. And from what I've heard, the fishing spots there, or at least some of the fishing spots there, don't move. So, like, you never have to run around, you just drop your fish. But I don't know if I'm ready to be dropping fish at this point. I'm still battling wrist issues, tendonitis, so dropping fish all day would definitely take a toll and add up and make it more difficult or not really possible for me to do more active skilling, probably because my wrist would be fried just from that. So that probably would be like at least 5 or 10k an hour faster XP. But shallow is fine. It's also, it would take a long ass time to run all the way up to the Backstorian Lake, and I have to leave here all the time for trades. Even coming back to Shiloh is kind of annoying, but it's not quite as bad. Just have to teleport to Artie, take the boat to Brimhaven, and take the cart from there. So what else is new here? I've done a lot of fletching lately. I think in the last video I was just past 99 and 32 mil XP and getting pretty high on the leaderboards. Let me see if I can pull that up. So looking at the fletching high scores, I'm ranked 2 and I'm a little over 2 mil XP behind the inducted, who has flatlined in the past week. He hasn't even logged in. Maybe he's on vacation, hopefully. But he wasn't really training fletching before anyways, so a decent chance I'll get to rank 1 pretty soon, but we'll see. Decent chance I won't keep it long term, but it would still be kind of neat. This guy wants to trade bowstrings. Actually, I'm out of flax right now. Flax is still flying off the shelves. I just buy flax and trade it plus 50 GP for bowstrings, and also buy bowstrings for GP if I really need them. And I don't ask people to come to Shiloh Village because that's kind of troll. So I usually just go wherever they are. Usually it's Sears Village or something. I think I'm buying for 400 each. Thank you very much. Nice. So I'm always forgetting to record things, but I've probably done like 100 or 200 trades since the last video, mostly small trades for flax and bowstrings and selling bows and everything. And buying logs. The magic log supply, not looking too good. Haven't gotten any in a few days. Have a few more magic longbows till the string, but yeah, the supply of logs has really slowed down. I had stockpiled like almost 100k magic logs before the update. Fletched through all those. I probably bought another 30, 50k maybe. I could probably go through my spreadsheet and add it up. But yeah, so I bought a whole bunch of unstrung U longbows. I actually was able to trade strung magic longbows for them, which is perfect. So just got to pace myself with these because this is a lot of clicking. There's no make X for string bows, but this is a nice amount of XP, and it's quite fast. It's over EHP, so that's enough to get me to rank 1 if Inducted doesn't do anything right now. But yeah, when I run out, I have a couple thousand sharks I need to cook, and then a whole bunch of U logs, which if I really wanted to, this is kind of my secret weapon. I could fletch all of those, but I'd really prefer to fire make U logs, at least until I have enough U logs for 200 mil fire making, and then maybe I would fletch the rest. But that's yeah, I got 1 or 2 fire making levels since the last video. Also, haven't quite finished 99 yet, but it's kind of a back burner skill. But yeah, I mean, 200 mil fire making is like a million, almost a million U logs. I've burned maybe 40 something K. So I still need a good 800k more. All right, I'm gonna head back to Shiloh for now so I can AFK while talking. Always gotta check the gem stall. Only 1 cake. Just grab the cakes, grab the gems while I'm here. They add up over time. I think there used to be a plant in the way here that was removed in the last update. Where is he? There he is. You can use the report abuse to remove that pop-up so you can be ready in the right place to click. This guy charges a different amount of money each time, between like 10 and 200 gold, I think. Gotta write down this trade in my spreadsheet. Another 1,000 bowstrings. So yeah, I had a huge surplus of bowstrings until I got those about like 65, or no, about 57k off of 1 trade of the unstrung U longs, and then I bought another like 10 or 20k in the last week or so from other people. So now I have a shortage of bowstrings compared to longbows, but usually buy those pretty quickly, so that should be all right. It's gonna take me probably at least like 2 weeks to get through stringing those bows, because I really probably can't do more than like 5 to 10k without being in pain. And I don't want to push it too much. But yeah, with this game, it's like if I had the GE and could just buy as much stuff as I possibly needed, then it would in some ways be more difficult because I would really just be making poor progress. But I'm also sort of similarly restrained by the slowness of the market, such that I can kind of usually get through the stuff that I can buy and only have to spend an hour or 2 a day on the really high APM stuff, and that is fairly sustainable. But I still have some days where I just need to take a day off completely, just chill at Shiloh Village and watch some TV or something. But yeah, the wrist issues that I have, it's up and down, but it's generally up. It's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, but it's moving in the right direction. I've been hitting the gym a little bit more lately, been able to do like some upper body training, notice a little bit of gains, trying to eat a little bit more, get some of my muscles back. I was doing some deadlifts here and there even, which I was, of course, afraid to do for quite a while because those are pretty strenuous on your wrist, like for gripping and everything, which has been okay, but I pushed a little too hard. And like, I was actually having issues with my shoulder. I think maybe a remnant from thieving because I was clicking a button with my left hand for a lot of thieving on this game. Um, but yeah, I'm old. That's what happens when you get old. Is the things that you enjoy start bringing you pain. But I think it's important to not let it defeat you completely and still try to do the things you enjoy and just have some self-control about it. And in this game, it's like I still have endless things to do. The world's my oyster here. I was kind of looking forward into the future again, kind of laying out a rough plan of what the future of this account will look like. As I mentioned in my last video, my goals right now are as much XP as I can possibly get in fletching, cooking, and fire making. And then for AFK time, I do fishing. And that's been going pretty well. I mean, I've been making gains in all three as much as I can with the amount of stuff that I can buy and sell. Especially fletching is probably the most accessible right now, and I guess fire making is pretty good too. I just haven't been doing much of it because fire making is kind of like there's no urgency. I just buy the logs and then they go away. Whereas with fletching, you have to be buying and selling. Same with cooking, so it's better to like process things as soon as you can and to get those sell offers ready to go. Try to move it out the door quicker. And part of the reason I've set these goals for myself is because I just am interested in going for high total XP. Actually, on that topic, let's take a look. This is a website called Lost City Labs, which is like a sort of like Crystal Math Labs or Temple for a Forescape. Made by a guy named Anders. I think I told him I'd give him a shout out in my last video and I forgot. So yeah, it's a pretty sweet website, and it has a unique thing on here where he has approved a few users, including myself, to be like EHP managers, which gives us a special role on the site where we can submit changes to rates, and then other people on the same council can approve or deny them. So we can self-manage the rates without him being involved, which is pretty neat. So I've been contributing to keeping the rates as accurate as they can be. What I was going to show you is that I'm rank 2 total XP. I'm miles behind this guy who, a bit of an enigma. The only thing I really know about him is that his name is a reference to the price that Jagex was trying to charge for some kind of membership package. And there's no way this guy isn't a known player. I think he's just somebody, some HLC's player gone incognito, but he's got a pretty crazy account. He's it doesn't show ranks on here, but he's rank 1 fire making, I think rank like 3 or 4 thieving, and rank 2 woodcutting, tons of XP, pretty crazy account. So maybe he's sort of my long-term competition in terms of XP grind, but to actually be rank whatever, have to be maxed sooner or later to actually be on the front page, because that's how it works. So at some point I'll probably try to max, but I think right now it's smarter for me to do other stuff first because you can max at any time and still be on that page. But yeah, I got to rank 2 sort of recently. Inducted was ahead of me for a bit, and so was Rando actually. But Inducted, I don't know where he went, and Rando also stopped playing for maybe a few weeks or something. Looks like he's playing a little bit again now. But yeah, he did a bunch of cooking and then probably ran out of raw fish. Tends to happen. The market's pretty small. So yeah, I do have some aspirations to actually be a top page player on this game eventually, but I want to do it in my own way and kind of do it the most efficient way that I can within the constraints of my life as usual, which is like probably can't do anything that's too high APM for too many hours a day, basically. So AFK stuff is powerful and has to be planned around, and things that can't be AFK'd have to be planned around as well and focused on in my active time. So mostly with the skills remaining, which are a lot, I'm not even close to maxing, that I don't really want to train them yet because future updates will affect them significantly. So I wrote down some of that and mapped out sort of a vague plan. So basically all of melee can be done through Slayer, so I don't really have a reason to train it separately. I do want to get 80 strength for the werewolf course because you stop failing the zipline at 80 strength, but most likely Slayer will give 1-to-1 in all melee skills, meaning that all melee becomes 0 time and 0 EHP. So training to 80 strength would take what's like 2 mil XP, probably take like 40 hours, and that would just be for 0. So thinking about it again, I probably should just do Slayer for all of my melee, even if it seems kind of troll to do at such low combat stats. It's still better than 0 HP. So I might just do that, but training Slayer on release will be terrible. There's going to be insane overcrowding, and there's not nearly as many monster spawns as there is in OSRS, and there's a lot fewer places that even have the monsters. And on release, there's no Turiel skipping, and there's also no Dragon Scimitar for a few updates afterwards. So I'll probably just hold off on all of that, but it'll be maybe a bit painful to not be doing agility right away because I'm really looking forward to doing Werewolf Course. But another thing that comes out, the update after Slayer, which is here, is Ghost Ahoy, which adds the Ectofuntus and also the Ectophile. So Ectofuntus is a pretty big deal. It's the first prayer training method that is not just burying bones. It's hard to say what the XP rate will be with Dragon Bones. I think it'll be pretty bad, like maybe 40 or 50k an hour. Whereas burying the bones is almost, or I think it is like 200k an hour. So it'll be debatable whether it's even worth it to use the Ectofuntus, but I know some people are waiting patiently for that to come out before they do much prayer. And I would probably do the Ectofuntus myself. I don't know if I want to spend, what is it, like 40 GP per XP on Dragon Bones to bury them versus maybe 10 GP per XP using Ecto. But alongside the Ectofundus, we also get the Ectophile, which is a teleport into Mauritania. And prior to that, the closest way to get to Mauritania is either just Varrock teleport or taking the glider to the dig site, which maybe is marginally faster. But it's a pretty long run to get over there. And if I were to try to be trading and then doing agility, I don't want to have to run for like 3-4 minutes every time I have to do a trade to get back to the agility course. And Ectophile is probably more like a minute or so run. So that would be nice too. So yeah, melee is gated on Slayer, prayer is gated on Ectofuntus probably, but also it would probably be good to do prayer to at least maybe like 92 before Slayer to get a much higher amount of prayer points per prayer potion dose, assuming that it's actually worth it to use prayer on Slayer, which I really don't know. I have no idea what the Slayer meta is going to look like on this version of the game, early release. It's going to be crazy. The interesting thing about Slayer is that it makes melee 0 time and therefore means that you're not killing dragons anymore, and dragons are a huge source of profit. Green dragons or blue dragons bring in like a ton of money in the current maxing meta. So to be losing out on all that money in favor of doing Slayer, which will have some drops, but I think will definitely just be less GP per XP overall than just farming dragons the whole way. It's going to change things for sure. It's going to make people more GP hungry and looking for other ways to make money probably, and also might mean that with Slayer, it's not worth it to spend a lot of money on things that make it slightly faster, like a cannon or like using prayer pots for offensive prayers, or even like overhead prayers or whatever. So it'd be pretty interesting to see what the Slayer meta ends up actually looking like. But yeah, I don't think I will do Slayer until the weapons update. This is the one that adds the Dragon Scimitar, because it feels, I don't know, I should probably actually try to do the math and figure it out, but it feels pretty troll to be whipping uncontrolled from like 70 attack strength all the way to 99. It seems like it would be much better to use the Dragon Scimitar, slightly lower DPS, but get your strength up twice or 3 times as fast, because high strength gives you much higher DPS. So, and by the time that comes out, maybe Slayer competition will have cooled down a little bit. Really, ideally, I would wait until like late 2005 for Fire Cape and Obby Shield and Berserker Ring and Fury. All of those are really good and would definitely increase your melee DPS by a decent amount, probably at least like 10% or so. But we'll see. I may want to max or try to max sooner than that. Ranged is a real question mark because I don't even know if it will be worth it to cannon during Slayer at all, but cannonballs may drop in price with the next update because all the coal that comes from Kingdom of Miscellanea will surely reduce the price of steel, which reduces the price of cannonballs. So maybe it'll become more worth it. But cannoning is also just incredible XP. It makes it so you can, I think it's pretty much 0 time ranged XP. You could just be training your melees or something while doing it. Or you can just be cannoning and also ranging with a bow and just get double the XP rate that you would otherwise be getting, especially now that Dagonoths exist. They're probably pretty crowded, but there's so many of them in there. You can do the medium clues, maybe make back some of the money. And I'm imagining that at least half of ranged, if not more, will need to be done outside of Slayer, because I don't think there'll be that many cannon tasks, even if you are going to cannon them. So maybe I'll do ranged. I also think it would probably be really worth it to cannon at least until 99 ranged before doing any other form of range training, because the cannon's DPS doesn't depend on your range level and anything else does. So basically getting to 99 with cannon is really good compared to shooting a bow. So maybe I'll see what prices look like. It's possible I would do some ranged as soon as the next game update, but I'm not really sure. And then magic, hopefully I can 0 time it. I think even if I had to do post 99 skilling, I'd probably try to 0 time magic rather than focus on it. But also Desert Treasure will come out, so if I have the money, then barraging or bursting is very fast XP, so that's always a backup option. But yeah, hopefully superheating will be what gets me magic done. Or maybe if I can find a way to alch 0 time during something. Maybe you'd be able to alch during Werewolf Course or something, who knows. Rune crafting, gotta wait for the Abyss. The Abyss is so damn good. Definitely going to be some annoying PKers there, and with few worlds, probably just means that you have to skill hop sometimes if somebody's like camping and ragging, but still definitely will be super worth it over rune crafting for 9k an hour. Agility is going to be werewolf as long as the XP is good, so I'm waiting on that, and maybe for the ectophile too. Herblore, it might be my last 99 if I were to max, because I don't think I will max before farming because of Herblore, because farming will obviously have a massive impact on the supply of herbs to the game, and farming herbs will probably be efficient anyways, so it could be a self-sustaining thing. And for reference, Slayer comes out January 2005, and farming is July 2005. So yeah, this is sort of around where I'm targeting of like when I feel like I'll be actually ready to max and like want to train all skills and not just be waiting for updates for them. And if/when the server ever gets to 2006, then there are new skills and new skilling methods and new stuff in 2006, but I kind of consider this account to be a 2005 account basically. Next update will actually bring us into 2005, and everything that's coming in 2005 preparing and excited for. Whereas 2006 feels like maybe too far in the future to consider as much. So yeah, when farming comes out, I think Herblore will become a lot more viable to train to 99. It's possible right now, but it's a real expensive and slow one. It's going to take you many months to buy all the supplies and sell all the potions, and it's going to cost you a mint. So I'd rather wait. I have no need to train it now. As for crafting, I believe that throughout 2005 they add new locations in the wilderness with more green dragon spawns. So I think that that will become a bit more affordable when there's more dragon spawns. I guess that might also make prayer more affordable, but we'll see. So maybe I would wait until then to get the rest of 99 if I were to get like 92 before Slayer. I already got a lot of these skills sorted. Smithing is I've kind of put myself in a bind with smithing since I chose cooking gauntlets, and you can't change your family crest gauntlets until I think August of 2005. So there's a chance I would wait until then, but also I think that with Kingdom and coal becoming cheaper, then smithing with steel might become a bit more viable. Because if the prices go down, then smithing steel plate bodies might not be quite as expensive and might be more comparable to like smithing iron plate bodies right now, and it's 50% faster. And you can even superheat your own steel bars. It's not too bad to do that. So that would be a pretty viable option for 99. All these are already sorted. Fire making is nearly done. Mining I can kind of do anytime. It's just iron. Simple as. Not much more to it, just mine iron. But I guess if I'm ever short on money, I could also maybe mine gold once the new gold mine comes out in 05. And then farming when it comes out, that one would probably take like a few months. I don't really know. But yeah, like getting high level tree seeds is going to be difficult. They only come from tree nests from woodcutting. So there's not going to be much of a supply. It's going to be very limited supply. So definitely going to have to do your urban allotment runs, maybe bushes, and probably just lower level trees since those will be a bit more common. Farming release is definitely going to be interesting. I think that there will be, well, so they release seeds. Let me see, they release seeds like a month before farming, I believe. So farming was July, and yeah, seeds are added here mid-June. So that's when they added master farmers and the seed stalls in Draenor. And I think also that's when they added bird nests from woodcutting. So all the seeds people could stock up on. So who knows how long that'll be for this server? Probably more than 1 month of time for people to stock up on seeds. So people will be coming in prepared, and I think that the competition on the high scores for farming will be like whoever can miss as few farm ticks as possible and can farm every single plot. I do think that people will be getting up every like 80 minutes or whatever it is for their herb runs and stuff. I guess it could be even more frequent for melons. So that'll be pretty interesting to see people doing some like polyphasic sleeping. I know that's what Etsk did back in the day for rank 1 farming, but he didn't even really have competition, I don't think, after a certain point. I imagine like the same thing will happen on here. People love to go hard for like a week or two, but most people drop off after some amount of time. Only the really crazy people who can and want to will continue a lifestyle like that for months or whatever. So that's pretty much the plan. I just have to wait for probably like 2 years to get to July 2005 and then do 99 farming and 99 herblore. Surely everything else will be 99 by then. No, I don't know about that. It's a lot of hours. I think Slayer will be 1,000 hour skill, if not more. It's gonna be a real slow one on here. That's like about how long it takes to max your melees, I think. So that one will take me many months for sure. And rune crafting 20, 23, 25k an hour, something like that at Abyss. No small task to get to 99. Definitely doable though. And then the rest shouldn't really be much of a hurdle as long as the supplies are able to be bought and as long as I have enough money, basically, which is, those are ifs, but I do have a lot of money in rares that will probably only go up in price. So if I'm lucky and I play my cards right, I might just be able to kind of coast my way through a lot of the buyables eventually by using rares. Lucky me. And then yeah, agility and mining will take time, but they're two of my favorite skills, so that'll be no problem. And they're still a decent bit faster than Slayer and runecrafting. So that's pretty much the macro man, macro plan there. Just got to execute on it. But yeah, I'm still pretty much blocked on almost all the skills other than the 3 that I'm actually training, or 4 that I'm actually training, until next update, and then the update after that, and then things continue to open up more and more as time goes on. But I really enjoy being able to plan ahead like this. It's satisfying for my brain to be able to come up with like the perfect route and know exactly what's going to happen in the future. So I'm targeting top page max total with a lot of XP on Lost City 2005 Scape in like 2028 maybe. Mark my words, we'll see what happens in reality. And most likely by then I would have also finished cooking, fire making, and fletching to 200 mil, but who knows? I guess it depends how much time I have between updates, because I'll probably prioritize. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll prioritize maxing over these skills once I have access to the other skills, but I don't really know. Actually, I probably would prioritize these whenever I can get the resources, so it sort of depends on the market, I guess. Because ultimately I want to get, like, permanent ranks are, I think, the highest priority. Playing efficiently is the highest priority within the constraints of my life, and then permanent ranks after that. So obviously I'm not going to, like, do something super inefficient just for a rank, like, I don't know, maining magic or something. No disrespect to the guy who's rank 1 magic, he's a beast, but that's already, like, not very much EHP, and sooner or later it'll be 0 EHP, so I don't really want to go for something like that. But yeah, permanent ranks will be cool. Those, those are permanent. They stand the test of time. I feel like that's kind of the only thing that still matters very much on old school is like your count can look like total trash, but if you have a nice rank on 1 or more skills, then that still matters for something. But if you never finish any skills, then they look kind of meaningless now, even if they were a higher rank at some point. Talking to my past self with runecrafting on my main account. And then what would I do after that? After maxing and after getting the faster, easier 200 bells? Fishing I'll always keep for AFK. Woodcutting maybe would also keep for AFK, but that would probably be with Teaks. Like I would have to be dropping. Hopefully I'd be able to do that by then. But even just like AFK and drop Teaks, I think are still like 80 or 90k an hour, which is pretty decent total XP. And I could maybe do some 2-ticking if I fell up to it, which is very fast. And then it'd probably honestly be Slayer. Like if I was going for a total XP competition, like to try to get as high a rank as I can on the high scores, I think Slayer would be kind of my next best option for total XP. Unless somehow the GP per XP drops dramatically on crafting and herb lore or smithing or something. Because those skills you can get fast XP, but super expensive, super difficult to get resources for. So not really a huge contributor to total XP competition. It might just be like a little bit of extra if you have extra cash. But Slayer is like pretty sustainable to do in some form. And between the Slayer, the hit points, the melee XP, maybe some range XP, probably always getting at least like 100k XP an hour, which is, for this version, is quite good actually. So who knows, maybe Automology will become a Slayer individual in 2029. And Slayer, could spend the rest of your life on that on here. It's maybe by the time the server gets to like 06 or 07, you might be scraping like 20k an hour Slayer. So yeah, that would keep me busy for quite a number of years. So there it is, the 5-year plan on Lost City. I'm loving this game. I enjoy it every day, and I'm excited to just keep logging in and keep playing. Community here is great. I just like this version of RuneScape. I think it's awesome. It's everything that I want out of this game. The only thing that I'm really limited on is that I'm waiting for updates to train certain skills. So once we hit mid 2005, that's gonna just be so peak, man. It's gonna be perfect. The ideal RuneScape. And as for the other accounts, this guy is the OG main account is just gonna be trying to stay logged in basically and gaining XP in some form. I don't really care how efficient it is, I more care how AFK it is. But it'll depend a bit on what I'm doing on the other accounts. This one's the tier 3. So if I can put a little more effort into this account, then maybe I will, but it's lower priority. Unless they add some updates, I'll have to put at least some effort into like agility and I guess maybe like hunter construction. RC is like practically AFK with CMI, it kind of looks like, but I haven't really tried it. I guess there's also like the Zaya shit. And then I don't really know what I'm gonna do about like Bibles and bank standards. Those skills kind of suck, but I guess at least they're fast. But yeah, I don't really have any plan for this account. I haven't spent the time or energy to think about it that much. I'm just gonna do things that are easy, and then if I run into things that are easy to do, then I have to think about it again. And then this guy is kind of the main account, but now O4 is kind of the main account. But yeah, I still care about this account a lot, and I want to still continue to progress it relatively efficiently. So it's pretty nice that I get to just cruise with this rune crafting and focus on Lost City for the time being, but this will run out. And I mean, I could just go back to crawlers and get more and keep doing this, but it's not really the best thing to be doing. So I'll probably see if I can do ogresses, because there's a way to AFK ogresses with melee. It's not as AFK as crawlers, but I think it's decently AFK using auto retaliate. So I might start doing that, and then I'll have to actually train smithing periodically so I don't stack up too many runes, because I'll have to telegrab in the wildy. So training smithing, I like actually have to play the game, so I would probably have to do kind of alternating between focusing on this account and focusing on Lost City, and I would just AFK fishing or woodcutting or something when I'm doing smithing on this account. And doing that loop between ogresses and smithing could take me at least 5 years, if not more, to finish. It's a lot of hours. Smithing is like 30k an hour. Got to get that to 150 mil. The rest is done from crafting. And melees at ogresses are probably like 35k an hour if you AFK. I think I'm like around halfway done of the 600 mil melee XP. So yeah, that's a lot of hours. But it would sort me out for the rest of max total pretty well, relatively quickly. Smithing would be done quick. Crafting I could get done from gem drops actually from ogresses. And prayer, I think it would take like a bit over 200 mil combat XP to finish prayer to 99. So that would be probably like 2 years, maybe 1 or 2 years if I'm doing all the smithing too. But yeah, I think that is probably how I will end up maxing. We'll see. Just cruise my way towards it. 0 timing prayer, 0 timing crafting. It's the best way to do it, like macro efficiency wise. And that whole loop could keep me occupied for such a long time that like if I finish smithing, that would be insane. Finish all the combats, including ranged, then I really wouldn't have that much left. I'd just have crafting, prayer, and RC, which would be crazy progression for the account. But that's, we're talking like probably 20k EHP away or something like that. So that's more than 5 years, maybe 10 years. Who knows what will have changed for the game in that period of time. But honestly, this game mode hasn't changed that much in the last 5 years. It has changed. There have definitely been significant changes, but the overall meta is still like relatively familiar and similar looking, which is for me really nice. It's nice to actually play an account that can stand the test of time somewhat and that I can plan for long term. So knock on wood for that. Really hoping that all these hours of rune crafting don't get totally devalued, even though it's pretty easy AFK and free XP. It's still like something that I wouldn't be doing if it was super inefficient. But yeah, man, I love this game. I'm a lifer. I think I'll be playing this game in some form forever because it's just one of my favorite things in the whole world. So I'm dedicated enough at this point that I like to think far into the future and think about what my account could look like and really try to make the best decisions for the long term, even if I have to wait for a year to train a skill that I want to train. It'll be worth it because it'll happen eventually. And I've been able to see that through with some of the grinds that I've done in the past like 5 years. And it's to me all the more satisfying when I delay the gratification and do things really the most optimal and correct way that I can. Obviously, the free to play UIM had a huge hiccup and roadblock around all the wrist tendonitis when it was really bad because I basically was just parked at flesh crawlers for like a year, which definitely was not optimal and is not what I was planning to do. But I'm just happy that I stayed logging in and kept grinding and didn't give up on the account and on the game completely. And now I'm kind of past the worst of it and looking into the future and expecting to be able to actually like play more efficiently again. Now, once I burn my way through the hole that I dug from all of that flesh crawler time. And the feeling that I'm going to have when this fragment stack goes away is just going to be crazy. Like all of those thousands of hours that I spent building it up, I just was certain that it was going to be there forever. And I just permanently ragged my account unless I drop it, which is such a troll also. So to actually complete it will be so nice. And it's going to happen. I'm certain of it at this point. I'm over halfway through and doing absolutely fine with it. It's like very sustainable for me. So yeah, that's going to be sick. That's going to be a really satisfying milestone. Open up a lot of doors for the account again. Sometimes all the fishing spots are on the far side of the river and there's only 3 of them. So I just go to the bank and do something until one of them moves because I don't want to have to run that far. So this is what stringing bows looks like. Just have to do a lot of clicking using Windows mouse keys. I actually wasn't using Windows mouse keys at all for a while, and I just had them like here instead, and then you can just position your mouse just right. But the range is where you like the number of pixels is pretty small, and then I was manually depositing, so it was fine actually, but probably like a little bit more efficient to do this, more consistent. And the left click with the Windows mouse keys 5 button, you can't drag with it. Like it's always just a instant click, which is pretty huge for this. I always used that, at least. Windows anti-drag makes a big difference. But surely there's a fishing spot now. Yeah, there is somewhere. So you can check. It's like here, and then in the middle, and then here. If all 3 of them are there, then they won't be anywhere else. There it is. So 0 UTC just passed, which is when I do my dailies that I for some reason still do. So I still actually do play Brighter Shores, but I just log in for the daily passive XP. I guess there was an update today. But yeah, I don't really keep up with all this stuff anymore. I just log in for like a minute or 2 every day and reset it and log out. Yeah, bro, I totally read all that and agree. So I'm doing passive woodcutting right now. I just cycle through all the skills. Some of them I already have higher levels, so I'm rounding off all of them and going for, well, it used to be level 200. Now it's like milestone 4 would be to level 200. I don't really know why they did this, to be honest. But yeah. This game is sort of cooked. I don't know if it's ever going to recover and become like a game that anybody really plays anymore, but I don't really mind giving the Gowers my $6 a month and spending 2 minutes a day here just in case. Maybe I guess I just don't like giving up or pausing on things that I've been working on for a long time. Sunk cost fallacy, maybe. But I still kind of think this game is cool. I think it looks cool. And maybe sometime down the line it will have a resurgence. I'm still curious to see what the future holds, so I'll keep getting my free XP here. And the other daily that I still do is my RuneScape 3 free-to-play Iron Man, which I well, I didn't really actively play, but I like logged in and AFK'd on every day for a bit. And nowadays I mostly just do the daily challenges on here because those are pretty OP for XP. And then I'll actually I'll log into the account every day and AFK for the seasonal events because those are OP also. So like that's where most of my smithing and fletching and a lot of the dungeoneering and prayer, 20 mil prayer, those are all from various seasonal holiday events where you can just AFK for like a month, get a bunch of free XP. So this account is like a total Fortnite, uh, like daily scape AFK prod. It's just kind of funny to see what you can get away with on this game mode, and it leaves another avenue if I ever want a very different style of account. I think that 200 mil all in this game mode is sort of interesting still, but it'd be actually a good game mode, I think, if they remove dailies in the seasonal events. So today I have to do dungeoneering, which means I actually have to spend a few minutes, and then jewelry and smithing are quick. They actually recently updated dungeoneering on this game. It hadn't been touched in a really long time and was like really out of sync with the rest of the game. And they updated a whole bunch of things. Like it was kind of like a miles long patch notes type of thing. I think they added necromancy to dungeoneering because it didn't used to even have the new combat skill, which is kind of bad. They did all kinds of things, like a lot of QOL. They also made it so you just get a lot more XP, which is the most noticeable thing to me. I used to be getting like for low level dungeons like 4k XP, and for high level dungeons maybe like 15k for a small. And now it seems like every dungeon gives me like 20k plus XP. So that's I'm sure it was a massive buff to like the EHP rate, if such a thing exists, for free to play Iron Man dungeoneering. And I just spawned into my least favorite puzzle ever. I fucking hate this one, man. You have to get across the ice to every single one of these pressure pads. You know, this is the very first room. I'm just going to restart. All right, let's try that again, please. I'll start by making law runes, dropping a gate stone in the home area. I do have the quick home teleport, but you still can't do that during combat. Law runes for group gate stone teleport. And I think it's possibly actually worth it to kill monsters close to the homeroom, even if you don't have guardian doors, because they drop more coins. And you can use those to buy the low level hides from the shop and get really good crafting bonus XP. Crafting and fishing and cooking are super worth for free to play Iron Man. So it is best to multi-skill and not just like go hard. And I really can't use my eyeballs, I guess. Thought I picked up some keys. I think it's because I have my UI really fucked up. But yeah, I know a big issue with dungeoneering after EOC, so at this point, like 15 years ago or something, or not quite, but yeah, 14 years ago, is that all of the monsters are just really, really weak. Like dungeoneering used to be dangerous. You would actually, God, why is every key yellow, bro? This is confusing as hell. It used to be that there were like actually dangerous monsters in dungeons, and you might actually need to get food for some guardian doors, and like the bosses were actually kind of hard sometimes, and it really depended on your dungeon scaling and your combat level and your group. But what the hell is sandy sand? But in this version, ever since EOC, it's just like you can stomp anything. I think it probably helps that I keep my combat levels low. I just use magic only, you don't need anything else. But yeah, like the bosses can pretty much just like AFK most of the bosses. It's pretty crazy. And maybe it's also just the free play floors, I don't know. But dungeoneering is definitely like way easier than it used to be. They changed this ferret room, I guess. They used to like run away from you when you stood near them. Now I guess you have to do this, which makes it way easier. Oh wow. And it's just like it's like aim assist, it just sends it right in there. That's crazy. I'm gonna kill this rat so it doesn't rag me because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 fishing spots in this room. That's crazy. Fishing super worth. Look how quick this XP is. It's like every 2 ticks. Wow, so much fishing XP. Very close to a level actually. Let's do this puzzle. Always gotta force a few. Alright, there's the boss. This one's actually a huge pain in the ass because if she switched to protect mage, then I don't have a switch. So I'll just drop a gatestone in here. If she switched to protect mage, I'll just leave and do the rest of the dungeon, come back. But like, look at how fast I'm melting her. She's doing like 0 damage to me. Oh, there we go. Alright, so we'll sell the boss loot. I will buy some logs so I can cook all these fish. And then I'll use the rest of the GP for crafting XP. Alright, so a bunch of proto-mastics hide. And you just make the bodies 112 XP per tick. Pretty darn good. And actually, I think if you're trolling less than I am, then you actually bring alks, and then you can like alk some of the item drops you get. Like you can pick up those bags and whatever. But I'm too lazy for that shit. I just pick up the coins as I'm running through. So yeah, 26k XP, and I think it will keep going up. I'm still only on like the lowest tier floor. So it's a lot faster XP than it used to be. Alright, so my other dailies were jewelry and smithing, which I do in Lumbridge. Always make sapphire bracelets because bracelets of clay are free to play on here, and those make urns a lot faster to make, and urns are like basically bonus XP items for a lot of skills, mostly gatherers. And then smithing on here is totally different. Like they completely reworked the system, so it takes like a lot longer to make a single item out of a bar. Alright, and then I gotta check the feather shops because those restock daily. Actually, it takes a few days for them to stock now, but yeah, that one was full stock, so I hadn't checked it for too long. It used to just be 2k feathers per day, like 1k from each shop, I think. And now it's each shop restocks like 800 something per day, but it goes up to 3,500, so you only have to do it every few days. And for my efforts, a whole bunch of XP. And I'm getting close to 99 dungeoneering, so once I get that, I can turn off those dailies. You can only turn off dailies for a skill if you're 99, or if they're combat skills. That'll be pretty nice, because I don't have to spend like 5 or 10 minutes doing a dungeon every time I get one. And dungeoneering is pretty low value XP compared to like, highest value would be like smithing and fletching probably. Okay, so it looks like they just added the summer event today, so I need to look into this. But first of all, I've got a guy trying to buy some bows from me. Very kind of him to come to Shiloh. Sweet. More bows out of my bank. The magic longbow stack is actually going down nicely now. They're selling pretty consistently. And I'm not getting shit for magic logs. Maybe it's time to start raising my prices. So I'm not hurting for GP either. But yeah, so the summer beach event is the one that gives a lot of free dungeoneering XP. It's not quite as OP as some of the other ones because you can only do it like a few times a day or something. But I gotta look into this and see if it's the same thing, because if so, it means I can finally get dungeoneering to 99 within the next like week probably. All right, so I'm just reading through the update notes and I actually don't see anything about dungeoneering here. So it looks like they actually changed this from last year. Or last few years, actually, there was a dungeoneering thing every time. So I guess I'm going to be doing dungeoneering dailies all the way, the rest of the way to 99. But it was only like 500k XP left. But yeah, I'll have to go look and see if any of these are worth it. Some of this is members only, but it looks like we have a cooking one, a strength one, a ranged one, and fishing. If I had to guess, fishing would be the best. It really depends on how AFK and how good the XP is, though. Cooking could also maybe be good. And if the strength one is good, I might consider it, just because on this game, your strength level factors into your mining rate, actually. When they reworked mining, they added in a little bit of strength impact for mining. I think that caps at like 90 strength. So if I ever wanted to do more mining post 99 in the future, that could be nice. So that's pretty much what the life is looking like here. If you're ever selling U logs or magic logs or bowstrings or flax or raw sharks, I want them, so PM me. And oh yeah, I agreed to be on a podcast with old school RuneScape player named DMP or Dave. Many of you probably have heard of him. It's been around in the community for a while, and I think his content is nice to watch. So I figured, sure. So that'll be interesting. He's a bit of a character. So we haven't recorded it yet. I think we're going to relatively soon, maybe in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I'll probably post on Twitter or something when that goes live on his channel. So that'll be a fun, another bit of long form RuneScape ramble type content to enjoy. And that's about all I got for now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all around.